Perfect.
Okay, just hold on. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Hunyah Show. Today on the Hunyah Show, we are discussing how having a candle making business has its benefits and it is good for health. Today on the Hunyah Show, our guest is Cavelle, who is an entrepreneur and an owner of Inheyl Candle Co. DIY candle making is a trend, but many people don't know how the process of candle making works. Also, candle making comes in therapy and self-care. Let's hear from Cavelle. Welcome, Cavelle.
Hi, thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure having you on my show, and I remember being part of your candle making workshop. It was amazing.
Good. I'm so glad you enjoyed yourself. That was the end goal. I really like to teach. That was initially what I wanted to start when I was in school to teach. So I'm glad that you enjoyed yourself.
So, Cavelle, my first question is, how did you start Inheyl Candle Co?
So I wrote down some notes because it's been a while. So I officially started in 2019. Sadly, in the springtime, I ended up having some personal trauma and eventually other loss of loved ones. And so I didn't officially start. I restarted and reinvested in 2022. And it was a lot of research for sure. So I started then. And I really needed to hone on the focus of making sure that I had my product in the way that I wanted it to, how my branding was going to work, how I wanted people to feel after they burn their candles, things of that nature. So it gave me some time to not only heal from personal trauma, as well as other lost members or family members, but it also gave me the time to zero in on the practice of candle making for sure.
That's amazing. That's very inspirational. Cavelle, my second question is, Cavelle, what are the self-care benefits for candle making?
So in my opinion, I feel like we are in an environment where everything is hyper-focused, hyper everything. And so the candle making for me was more of a calming experience. It allows me to be a little bit more mindful and being in the present moment when I'm creating. Sadly, again, like I was saying earlier, that I had a personal trauma, and so the stress levels needed to come down significantly, and I needed to find a way for not only for me to be practice being creative, but it also gave me a space to again zero in on my mindfulness and relieve the stress. So so I started why that's important. There's mindfulness, you zero in on a practice. And I think of it like a way of, when you're cooking for someone and you put all that love and the nurturing, the care for in the meal itself, and knowing that someone else is going to enjoy a meal. That's kind of where I see things when I make candles. It's a significant moment where someone gets to experience something with all the love and the effort that I put in to the making process. So
that's amazing.
Yeah.
And it's like you see so much on Instagram and all these other social media that it's all about candle making right now. It's like that's just like what everyone looks at.
It's a fun activity, I'm not gonna lie. But it also it zeroes in on your mindfulness, and it's a great way, another practice to be creative and focus in on being in the present moment. We don't always get a chance to not be so, we don't necessarily tune into ourselves. And so again, being in an environment where things are a lot more hyper-informed, hypersensitive, hyper everything, it's a nice practice to get into and zero in your self-care.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And Cavelle, my third question is, what advice would you give to someone who wants to start his or her candle making business?
Okay, so there's a couple of tips that I suggest. Is do a complete deep dive in research. That is your friend, whether if it's Pinterest, whether if it's YouTube. I apologize, I'm sorry. No. Sorry about that.
Oh, it's okay.
I forgot to put myself on Do Not Disturb. So deep dive into research, stay in the Canadian market. If you live in Canada, stay in the market so you can keep your overhead and expenses at the Canadian dollar value. Branding, of course, your business goals by having a business plan, keeping track of your expenses, and start small. That's the other thing I would suggest, is to start small. Don't throw all your eggs in one basket. You want to be able to sort of graduate, if you will, from one. Like for myself, I started off with tin vessels, tin jars, and then I moved to glass, and then now I'm moving to concrete. And so it becomes a storyline in some way, and that goes back to your branding. The other part of it is also have a separate bank account and join Facebook groups. They are so inundated with Facebook groups of just information. You get to learn from other candle makers who have been in the business for so long. And again, like it's another, I haven't seen a lot of Canadian ones that have like YouTube channels, but it's not like you can't find any on YouTube that you can translate the information.
Craft, I've seen those ones. Like they always have something that's going on. They're making
exactly, and it's a way for you to take the same information and then translate it to Canadian version, if you can possibly.
That's amazing. Yeah. And Cavelle, my last question is, would you like to share your social media handles? Where can viewers find you and follow you if they need any advice on candle making?
Sure. So I'm on Instagram, I'm on TikTok, and I'm on Facebook. On Instagram, my handle is Shop.Inheyl Candle and the same thing for Twitter, excuse me. And on Facebook is Shop.Inheyl.
Okay.
Inheyl is spelled Inheyl.
Okay. So thank you, Cavelle. And to viewers, make sure you check out Inheyl Candle Co and follow Cavelle and Inheyl Candle Co on the following social media. That is Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And also be sure to check out the Hunyah Show and HunyahTravels and follow HunyahTravels. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.